Are we on? Are we here? Am I here? Are we on? Are we here? Am I on? Hi, everybody. Frank and I are here with a GH Spotlight here on JLJ Media. I don't know. I think we're live. Talk about the week that was in Port Charles. As you guys may or may not know, earlier today there was no wine on me spotlight, but there was a bold me spotlight. And the conclusion is Sheila's not dead. It's been 35 years. Sheila never really dies. That's our thoughts. Check that out. It's out now, audio and video, the bold and beautiful mini spotlight. And after being frank, there's nothing else. Edition Days is taking the day off, the week off. So, but still go there, like the channel, tell them Frank sent you.
Absolutely. I mean, Tony Moore and his band of merry soap friends need a day. They need to
Yes.
recharge.
Yes. It's because the show was boring this week. Did I say that?
Oh,
Okay, well, so
it's
no,
because Steve Burton left. He took all
I
the
know, right?
enthusiasm.
That's right, kids. So you guys know now ahead of time, next week will not be here. There'll be no soap shows next week due to the Oscars are on earlier, and I do Oscar stuff. And it's a time change. You're losing an hour. We're springing forward. Frank, are you ready for that?
I am because I think my favorite part of the year is when it is lighter later.
Me
So,
too, Frank.
yes, give me more of that.
I actually agree with Frank completely. I like it when it's lighter later also. So we'll be doing all that. I'm just setting all this stuff up here because I'm like Jason Spotlight. I got to do all these, press all these buttons. I have a great thumbnail for this. Here we go. Oh yes, it's a great one. It's a picture of Tracy and Maxi going, "Whoo!" when Gregory says, "Save a dance for me." I just thought that thumbnail made me laugh. We have so much to talk about, you guys. Well, we guess about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, and that was Homegirl's potential wedding dress. It got the most talk out of everything this week. There was a cute ending at the end of the week to it, but the whole week, Frank, we had to watch poor Amanda Seaton in a dress that did not flatter her or nobody. What is your take, Frank?
Well, I mean, I guess because the whole point is we had to find the right dress. That I guess it makes sense that we have to see her wearing the unflattering stuff to be able to go like, oh yeah, we understand not just visually why she would want a different dress like Lila's, but also emotionally that she would want that dress as well. Uh, I found that more palatable than the tired old prenup bits that we got in there. Like, oh man, come on now.
I know.
It's just yikes.
It was so manufactured because Chase had a fee. He came and basically said, but he came in all angry.
Yes.
But he was like, but he basically admitted he knew it had to be Chase. Like,
It was so weird that he comes in so fired up, and then once they get on the couch, he's like, "Oh yeah, I realized that there might be a point to it." They're like, but why? I even said that out loud. Like, well, then why did you come in all fired up? You had already kind of processed it and kind of come to that realization before you came over to the Q mansion, and yet the choice was made to still come in, super hot about it.
um, that was the last week of Chris and Dan's work. So clearly they were like, we're just going to throw whatever we want against the wall before we leave.
Oof.
That's why I felt that part because it wasn't consistent. It made no sense. It was like, they're trying to be extra dramatic, but it was like fake dramatic. It was like it didn't have to be. It could have been fun, possibly, if he had walked in all angry, but like, let it go, girl. I was just kidding. I just want to see what Tracy was like. That could have been funny, but it was just like, but you basically, but
Yeah, it's just I don't know why. I guess that has been just too much of a Christendom. We've got like these little manufactured, unnecessary little beats that to cause drama,
Yes,
roadblocks, speed bumps in various stories. I think, no, 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 we don't need this.
we
Like
don't.
just because it might have been great in soaps earlier. It's like by this point, I feel like yeah, we as a civilization, as viewers, kind of progressed a little bit past some of those
Oh,
clip.
yes, we have. What's crazy is, okay, Brooklyn and Chase are getting married. So we got that going. There's a fan base for it. We're ready to do this. It's all kind of stuff. Now, what they should have did, you possibly agree, not how all that manufactured. They already had the Tracy Lois, the three generations of women thing going on. The whole thing of she really wants to wear Lila's dress. That was enough actually for a storyline to me. That
Mhm.
was, and because I'm going to jump ahead a second, the scene where Tracy kind of breaks up and tells Brooke how she misses her mother every day. I don't ever measure up to her, but I'm here not to wear the dress, but to share the dress. That was beautiful. It was like that was like I'm like that's all we the little her and Lois confrontation that we would expect that, but then to come to the conclusion because she looked at Lois looked at her, and it was kind of like that's all we needed, Frank. We didn't need all this other stuff. Like they think it's soapy, so they added all this stuff in there, and it just didn't matter.
Agreed. You don't need to add, it's like just over, adding too many seasonings to something, or just like, no, no, no.
Yes,
You could have just, as they always say in those cooking competition shows, like edit,
yes,
make
Golden
it,
GoDaddy arrow. How to get your
simplify that dish.
yes. It just
Uh,
didn't. We didn't need all that stuff. So that was just enough. Everybody's like Jane always delivers. Yes, everybody agrees. Her speech was. It's like yes, some conflict for that. Obviously, generational. Quartermain versus Cirillo. Love that part. But it was just like we didn't need all the other stuff. And then everybody in chat. Sorry, we go back to the dress. Everybody's talking about the dress was fugly. Um, they padded it. Jeannie, it doesn't matter if they padded it or not padded it. It was ugly. Whoever was in, I don't want people lose their jobs or nothing, but hopefully someone got to talk to you in that wardrobe department because that was not cute at all. Not cute. Not cute. Not happy about that. I just want to mention that. So I'm just saying that was the most talkable thing. I'm just saying that was the most talkable. We had to watch the dress the whole week. She wore that dress every day the whole week.
it was that good. It was that good.
I
You know?
like when Tracy let Tracy be vulnerable. Yes, in small bits. I don't want her to turn to mush. I don't want some mushy bitch. I want her to be a bitch. So that's what I want. I don't want anything too, too soft. But the fact that she's rough exterior and kind of, then comes around a bit. Because I think she's always about the family. That's the whole thing. She does
Mhm.
things her own means, but it's about the family. And her and Brooklyn, they're actually showing them they're kind of growing together on some level.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's I mean, I guess that is the other great thing is like uh I'm gonna get deception away from my grandmother and get it back to you, Maxi. Is always a good recipe for like I'm gonna keep working against this person until I realize like, oh wait a minute, I really do love this person. I don't want to hurt them as well. Can I come up with some other way of getting around this? Oh, it's already too far. I'm gonna hurt this person, and I didn't mean to. Actually, I did, but then I didn't, and then now you understand, don't you? So, but
Yeah,
I'm
of
sure at the end of it, Tracy will understand because it's very Quartermain to to usurp somebody from their role. Uh,
course.
yeah, I mean, plus we got a nice Lois and Lila flashback, which is great.
Yes, we did. We like that. Yes.
What I did not enjoy, along with that, yeah, the dress. Actually, again, the dress didn't bother me, as I said, compared to the prenup storyline, but then also to whoever made the decision to style Lois's hair, because that drove me bonkers. That was not a great style.
Ugh,
I don't know that weird, that kind of like braid right along the forehead. That was just yikes.
yeah.
I found that I found that very more distracting than the wedding dress because
I
every
couldn't,
time it was,
I
then
couldn't
they
even get to that. Couldn't even get to that. I was so busy with the dress, I couldn't get to that.
every time they went to her face, I just been I'm like, what is going on with that hair? What is going on?
They're trying something different.
Oh man.
They were trying. I didn't say it worked. They were trying something different. Yeah.
Uh and it is, it's I guess more real world that you're I'm thinking compared to soap world. Uh because like in the soap world, Lois is not, well, she's not a very present mother. There's no indications that she's a absent mother
Right.
from Lois, from Brooklyn's life. But yet, for us as viewers, Lois is, mentioned here and there, but never seen for since Renee Silver and the recast, left the
Yeah.
show so many years ago. Uh, but Tracy's been more present in there. So you think those scenes where it's with Tracy and Lois, where Lois is getting up and it's like, why are you just so invest in this? There are parts where you're just like I'm here, you're not here. I've I care about this girl. And I want to do best by her. So I feel like those moments, at least for me, I'm bringing that just because of the realities of the soap opera production, that bringing that into the scene as well too. Because I feel like I'm ready for Tracy just tear into Lois a little bit, but that's not Lois's
Because
fault.
because Gregory is softening her.
Uh, you know, but what I like though is that Gregory is also he's it's not like those scenes with Lois with Alexis and the Invader when he first started. And he was always like journalism splaining to Alexis. And those scenes just got blah. But like this with Tracy, it's like he's more of a realist of sense with Tracy. And so Tracy can do this with, even though it was, the prenup was something she wanted to do, but it was sent prematurely to Chase. But Gregory's not like tearing into her, wanting her to change. He sees the point of view and not asking Tracy to apologize or explain. I mean, and Tracy's not. She's like, "Hey, that was sent prematurely, just so you know. I'm not excusing my decisions. It's just perhaps how it was delivered was poor." And it's like those scenes are just, oh, do not don't kill him off.
I
New
know,
right.
I know, I know. They're going there. No Ned or Olivia. I don't think they needed Ned or Olivia for these scenes. I think it was deliberately. They don't need Olivia there. This is grandmother, mother, daughter. Sorry, not stepmother. We don't need her. And Ned wouldn't be there. Ned's the father. He wouldn't be there for that. He'll have his moments with her before the wedding. Trust me, he'll have his moments. And I think Olivia might have a moment there too. So David agrees with you. Gregory understands Tracy. Lori agrees. Lori Coyle agrees with Frank. Her eyebrows are overdone. Hi Venom. Lois's hair braid looked like a headband. Renee's hair is fabulous. Jay's hairstylist do better.
It was so weird. It was so weird.
I didn't even notice it. I was supposed to be with the other. I wasn't even noticing it. I didn't see it. I have to look at it again. Yeah. But here's the other side of that, folks. So you take the good, you take the bad. So meanwhile, at Finn's apartment, so folks, if you're listening, there are pauses on purpose. So I have to figure out how to phrase this to Frank before I say it out loud.
Before while you summon up the strength for that, I will ask you one question. Uh, how how confident are you in Finn organizing an enjoyable bachelor party for Chase? My confidence is zero.
I have to sit and think about that also. There's so many things about this storyline that I just don't give two shits about. It's crazy. See, the fans know what I'm about to talk about. They know what they're already. I haven't even said it yet. You
Yep.
told me, wait a second. I haven't said it yet. You guys are going ahead of me. I haven't said it yet. I mean, we have new writers, but everybody's like, "Go, James." We have new writers, so who knows? Things could be totally. They could be much better. We have to remember this is old writers, so now new writers are coming in. So there's kind of they didn't explain why Tracy and Loa and Lila didn't get along and she didn't wear the dress. They didn't do all that. So they didn't. You're right. They didn't do that. But I don't think they need to do it anyway. It's not about Tracy. It was actually about. It was about Brooklyn. So it wasn't really about Tracy or Lois. But Lois wore the dress, so they had to kind of tell that story. Okay, so I answered that there.
Yeah.
Back to Frank's question and my other thoughts. They're related. They're related, Frank. They're actually cousins of each other. I just don't care. Yes, folks. Violet. You already said it before I could even get in there. They know what I'm going to say. Know what I'm going to say. Because I'm just like, this faux wedding thing. And Liz, like, did you get your invitation? I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm going to fast forward. If they do something, I'm going to fast forward it. Chaser's bachelor's party, yes. It will be as boring as fuck. I don't want to see it either. Boring. They're going to try to do some comedy in there. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, Frank. It doesn't work. When the fellas are just talking, I like them. The Chasemen, the Finmen. I like them when they're just like talking about stuff. I like them. When you add these other little things, annoying.
I mean, and I'm just thinking of the guest list. I would assume it would be, well, of course, Finn, Chase, Gregory. Why you
Michael.
bring the dead? Because if he's dying, you want him to still be there for all those special moments. Dante, maybe
Michael.
Michael. I'm hard pressed to think about anybody else at that point.
Why the hate for Gregory? No, here's the thing. I don't hate Gregory or Finn. That's the thing. We want Gregory to stay. We've been saying this the whole time. We've been saying it for weeks, months.
Yes.
We want Gregory to stay. We like Gregory. I actually like Finn when he actually has a story that's not annoying. I like Finn. He's a great character. Him and Tracy have a great relationship. I love their little fun relationship. Finn and Alexis have a great relationship. I have nothing against either of those characters. So I actually don't hate them. So for me, I don't hate them. I like them. I hate the storyline and the beats that are playing. That's the problem I have. It may get better. It may suddenly get better. I mean, we don't know. It may get better.
I mean, I feel like the only time that he was in a relationship that seemed to not drive people crazy was when he was with Rebecca Budding.
Yeah.
Um,
But even back in the day, he wasn't that when he played other characters like Sizer, he wasn't that annoying. John McBain, we love John McBain.
yeah.
I'm just saying, he's a great. We like. I like the actor. I'm just thinking it's just. Oh, not you, James. The chat. No, I'm like, I don't even know. Gregory is so much. Gregory is blowing. I don't know what that means. Finish being way solid. I agree. Chase is a snooze. He's just hot. He is hot. Why does Dante keep his hands under his armpits? It's like he's
Keep him warm.
You're warm. So you smell it later.
Yeah, I mean to have that, just the unnecessary workup of Finn getting worked up about Violet's wedding invitation. Like, see the humor in it, Finn. I don't under that like that kind of clueless father
Right.
thing is just like a little that goes a long way, and
I
Finn
agree.
has exhausted it by now, with me at least.
I know with me too. And let's see. Yeah, that just and the whole list with it's like that's what they do when they're getting Cameron, blah blah. I'm like, nobody cares. There's just so many. I mean, I know they're trying to because they're in a good place right now. So they're just like I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. That's all. I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, I
Like they said, they're just want we want them written well. There's nothing against the characters themselves. We just want them written well.
Do you have hopes that the new writing team could come at it from a point of view that would make you invested in that relationship, or would you rather just have them just split them up?
Split them up. But here's the thing. I'm always open that if you do a really good story that transcends them, but makes me. I've had for the longest time, folks. I was against Elizabeth and Franco, and then right before he was killed, I actually switched. I actually started to like them, but it was the story. It was the story, and that's what won me over. And I started to go, okay, I kind of see it now. He's good to the boys. It's kind of this kind of broken family. Like I started to kind of see it that they killed him. So my whole thing is kind of like any story. If you get it, if it's written really well enough and shocking enough, I can fall for it.
Was it Franco sacrificing himself for Cameron for the
That
memory
was
wipe?
part of it too. Yeah, that was part of it too. Yeah, it started to switch over a little bit. It's like, okay, so they're allowing him to grow and change, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting with it now. And it just started to work, and they just slowly kept them together. It kept going, but it kept showing with the family and the boys and with Scott. It was like I started to see it, and then just so I'm up for a story. If you can give me a compelling story, that's good. I would keep fitting this together if you could tell me a compelling story wanted together. That's possible. I would yes.
Yeah, admittedly, I didn't warm up as much to Franco and Elizabeth as you did. They were fine by the end, but now looking back, I'd rather would have had that relationship continue and not having killed.
Right.
This what we've gotten afterwards has not been great.
Unfortunately, Luther, that's not going to happen. I know people want it to happen. It's not going to happen. It's going to be Jason and Carly. They're the end game. I've been saying it for a long time. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Liaison's never going to happen. That's what fans want it. I like Jason Elizabeth. Yeah, I like them, but it's not. It's not going to happen. People just. It's going to be Carly and Jason. That's the end game. Sam might be thrown in there a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be together either. It's not going to be that either. They have Elizabeth and Jason. We'll go on it. We'll go on to that storyline in a sense because that was something I actually enjoyed, Frank. And actually now they're bringing Jake. You mentioned it last week. Now they put Jake and Danny together. You said it last week. You were like, and all of a sudden they were together. So I actually kind of like. Why not? Let's start showing them as brothers. Let's see them show them as very, like you said, very different. The two very. This could be good if they really follow through with this in the long run. It could be good. But you said it last week before it happened, and now it happened. So Frank,
Uh,
take that.
they, I was in the writers' room. That was my pitch.
Oh, okay, I had no idea. I
Um,
was like, wow, Frank knew. But you
what can
literally
we do
said
to
that.
really stir this up? Why don't we do vaping? Let's
That's good.
do let's do something very 2018 and really tackle that vaping issue that is ever
I know,
present.
but
So
still, it's something to me. I'll take it. It's something right now to get them started to
yeah.
show us how different they are.
Yeah, that they're both sons of Jason, but they are I guess kind of showing different facets of him.
Mhm.
With Danny the more reckless and Jake more of the standing up for doing the right thing.
Chris asked me a question. I will answer it. I'm happy to answer that question. If Jason is still involved in the mob, then how is his life going to match with Carly's new life? It doesn't matter. Carly and Jason love each other. That's how it's been for the last 30 years. It doesn't matter what's going on, but every single relationship they've each had, Carly and Jason have superseded each alliteration. Doesn't matter. They always pick each other over everybody else. So and Drew's are acting crazy, so that's already starting to happen. It won't matter. They'll figure it out. Okay. Luther thinks the vaping story is still very age appropriate still.
Yeah.
It don't bother me. That part don't bother me. It's for me. It's like some reason they threw something together. They do something together to get them for a conflict. So like, why not? I mean, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Uh, admittedly, I'm not as dialed in to the vaping community. I don't know if I rather would have gone to like, hey, I'm just doing marijuana.
Well, he drinks, so
Yes.
he's drank. Vaping, I guess, is next, because you can't really do cigarettes anymore. Nobody does cigarettes anymore.
No, that's true.
I guess vaping would be the nearest thing.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
but
that
again, it doesn't
cotton
bother
candy
me.
vape. I mean, and James is a vapor. How did you feel about seeing it?
It's fine. Don't vape anybody. I just do edibles. That's something totally different. Um, I thought, you're right, Chris. I thought it was gonna be marijuana. I thought it was gonna be a joint. I guess
yeah.
that's the '70s or something. I don't know what's going on. So I guess so. Vaping's the latest thing. But either way, I think they're starting. Well, because Frank, you actually said you hope they do this. I think they're starting to do this because I saw Jay go, Frank. You didn't hear me. I'm like, Frank.
I did. I felt that. I felt a
Jake.
little
Felt
stirring
that.
in me. I
I
did.
pointed to where's Burbank. It's this way. Frank. Then I'm in Inglewood. We're over there. But I thought it was cool. They had Scout, they had all the kids, kind of that was kind of. I actually like that because then they're all quartermains on some level, so they have all that in common. Scout and Jake and all that. So there's all this stuff that's going on. So I think it's smart to set they're setting it up, and so
Sure.
hopefully that means, like you said it earlier a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully that means then now Jason's going to handle these two teenage boys. What does that mean?
Yeah, and what I did enjoy the most was also seeing Rocco running around there. It was great. Um, somebody put an APB out on Rocco. We got to find that kid.
Yeah, we got to find Rocco. Kids do vape because of the flavors. Opioids would have worked. The really hard stuff. Okay, Jason, you're getting down and dirty on that one.
Just fentanyl. That's
Fentanyl, everybody. Fentanyl. Let's see about fentanyl. Um, it say I could Dan. I could. Sorry. Let me. Oh, folks, I can actually do this. Where's my marker? I can actually do this. Take two. Angel Blue says, I like the Jake and Danny scenes. They it's like Jake is Jason Quartermain and Danny is kind of like AJ. I would say AJ. I would say he's Jason Morgan. I would say one is like Jason Quartermain and one's like Jason Morgan. So they're setting up Jake to be the good guy and Danny to be the bad guy, so to speak. That's what I like.
yeah. Um, and then I don't know if I needed Willow being the person that was breaking it all up. Hey,
They gave her a scene, Frank. They gave her a scene. That's what it was. They gave her a scene. That's fine. Let's move on. Somebody's already brought out the coming out confrontation. I guess we got to talk about that. So, Eva LaRue walks in, and we talked about this. We talked about this. What was it? What show I talked about this on? Oh, it's on my Zoom. So a lot of folks didn't understand mommy. That became a big topic also. Now, folks, I'm going to say something because I am half Latino. I'm going to say something that because it was a big deal. People were explaining to folks why in certain cultures you still say mommy, daddy, auntie. I remember Curtis was like, he's calling her auntie. He's a grown man. In certain cultures, that's how you refer to your elders. And yes, Iwaru came in and said, mommy's here, which is a total mother thing to say, no matter how old you are. But she said mommy, MAMI, like mommy, poppy. That's what she said. That's a term of endearment. So I just want to say public, all the folks who are having just hissy fits over this, calm the fuck down. It's a saying. It's just a saying. In Indian culture, you say auntie. Everybody's auntie. Black culture, same thing. You say auntie. That's what he said. He calls it Stella. It's a term of endearment. It's just another version of life. That's all it is. The way it got so overblown to me was just overblown. So I just want to say that's what get that out the way. But they went fast, Frank. I mean, this is something that I actually appreciate. That they went fast. I want to know your feelings about this. She came out to her mommy, and it was like, "This is my girlfriend." And okay. So true lesbianism. They get together right fast, and then, and I said it, and then later to go to show up to the scouts party as partners. So let's go back to just beginning that, you know, of this whole coming out of Eva LaRue. How do you feel about that whole scene?
Uh, I I mean, Eva LaRue, I do enjoy her. So, and I mean, I'm going to reserve. One, I do appreciate the speed, and I was rather
Yeah,
than I thought we were going to drag it out for weeks. Of like, oh, Christina would have left, and there would have been like several like kind of fake encounters where they all kind of run into each other, and you're waiting for the point when Blaze is like, I can't stop it anymore. I have to say what I really feel. So I'm glad that they created a situation where Blaze is like, nope, I got to say it now. This is it. Uh, given as we talked about last week, how they wrote the Adam's father scenes. Uh,
right.
I was already kind of like, how is this going to be?
Me too.
This, it is the parent refusing to accept what they see in their child. Uh, I'm gonna wait and see how the rest how further scenes
Okay.
play out of this to kind of really see like how good the story is. And I mean, I guess the nice part is we have the new writing team. So, uh, admittedly, my confidence would have been a lot lower had it been Chris and Dan. But knowing we have the new regime, I'm going to reserve judgment. So at least for right now, um, there wasn't anything, interesting though about seeing how dialed or connected, um, her mom is into like Blaze's career, which is something we hadn't really heard of until that, like how much of a part that she plays in Blaze's career, and that was interesting to hear.
Yes. I as the gay one here, I guess everybody's waiting to see what I have to say apparently about this. I thought the scene was decent. Eva LaRue can act. Like, I was with Frank. I was just kind of like, oh my god, what's going to happen? She wasn't cardboard cutout to me, at least. Um, Her walking around and starting to clean up stuff and try and deny it was interesting. I like that choice. Also, the fact that Blaze was still trying to be respectful was very much in character of a Latina mom and daughter. She was trying to be like she was excited to tell her. She wanted to tell her. She was like, "This is me now," and she really wanted, and she really did the respectful thing by not just going off like, "Get out of my room." You know, she tried. She wanted her to hear her. So I really did appreciate that. The swiftness of it just coming out. They didn't drag it for 2 or 3 weeks, and it's like she'll never know. And she didn't do that whole thing of like They started out with the whole "this is my friend." She just stayed over, and I thought, "Oh, we're gonna do that again." So I'm glad we're not doing that. This is 2024. We don't really do that anymore. Um, but I was the part with Frank's talking about. I was like, "Oh, we're learning about um their relationship kind of. I didn't know she was involved with her money and stuff. I didn't know what was going on there and her career and how she didn't care for BLQ, so to speak, and thinks that she's that's interesting. Like I had no idea. Um, so I just thought, and Luther, you're right, and you never know. I've had to come out, so I know what that feels like, and you never know what the other person's going to react. But I liked the exchange. I thought it was decent. Um, I don't care about her so much. We haven't known her that long. So it's kind of like, and I don't care about this new Christina yet either. So it's kind of like I wasn't emotionally invested. It didn't move me at all. But I just thought, just staring at it, it was decent. So I would give it a B. I would give it a B. And then for me, it was just like it was just decent, and it wasn't cliche, so to speak. It was, and all the actors involved kind of did their parts. So I was fine with
It's yeah, certainly it's tough because subs are written and then moving forward we can't always go back and change stuff, but to have Blaze's mom being, we learned so involved in her career. Part of me was thinking like, where were you back when she had that creepo manager?
Somebody brought that in, but yeah, somebody brought that in the chat. Yes,
It's like,
but we know it's soap opera. It's just
yes.
yeah,
So, but it's like you can't tell me that you met that guy and thought everything was great with
right.
the Creepazoid.
Yes. Blaze's mom comes on as overbearing. I see you guys saying that, and it's a mother. It's a mother of color. They are overbearing. That's how mothers of color are. My mother's still overbearing, and I'm 54 years old. This is kind of how they are. I mean, mothers do that, no matter what color they are. But just that mothers are they are overbearing. They are controlling on some level. That's what mothers do. Um, that's what fathers do sometimes. It depends. I'm not surprised by that part. I mean, that part was you already said they were Catholic parents. You already set that part up. So I was kind of like, I'm not surprised by that. And her not fully accepting it, I'm not surprised. It takes a minute. My mother wasn't like, "Oh, great, James." I wasn't all excited either. It took a while for people to have it sink in. So I
Yeah,
just
and it's yeah, as they do say, but you have friends like that. It's like, yeah,
I
but
don't
yeah,
mean
they're not
anything,
my child. They're not my child.
and they're not. It does. It mean that means nothing. It really doesn't on some level. It may help you in the long run, except that, but when you your children, just anybody who's parents, it's just a little different. Not saying it's right, but just it's a little different. And obviously, my mother came around, and everybody came around my family, but it's just how it is. So there's pretend like Lucha said and Frank said, let's sit back and wait and see kind of how it goes and see if it goes any better. Jason's like, oh, well, I saw that thing, Jason. Yeah, I know you tracked that message, but I saw the message, but I won't say it out loud. So I won't say it, but yeah, so it's kind of yeah. So we'll see. So anyway, but it was also kind of cute that she is supposedly a star, having Jake and Danny and them kind of go, oh my god, that's kind of funny,
Yeah.
and they actually showed, hi Aunt Christina, hi. I mean, they showed the relationships between them. They're all related. We never see them together as a family, so it's kind of fun to see them because Christina is Sam and Michael's sister. You saw. I mean, it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to see them actually act like family.
Yeah, and interesting that they give a moment for everybody to kind of have like at least a reaction to when Christina announces Blaze as her girlfriend.
They did. I love
Uh,
it.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, that's like good. So that's fine.
Uh,
So let's go. So let's go to the rest of that part. We kind of been around the party stuff. Um, so I actually kind of like that Alexis talked to Drew for a minute because I was waiting for that to happen about Nina.
mhm.
I had a feeling that had to happen at some point because they're friendly and they talk. So I was kind of curious about that. I mean, Drew. I mean, Carly's over Drew on some level. She's just like, you gotta let this go, and he's not letting it go. He's having a hard time.
I don't understand why there's. I can understand Drew struggling to let that go. Okay, for sure, he's been through a lot, but the fact that like he feels so unable to do it, and it's like there are people you can talk to at least try to help you that aren't family related, that are that have studied, that they can help you process this and try to move forward. The fact that that's not even becoming like any sort of topic of consideration, like give me a Drew and Kevin scene or something like that. I'd rather see that. To actually kind of to work through that. It's just like I can't.
It's like
I'm good with Drew talking about that stuff again, even though he's said it so many times. But if it's a scene with Kevin, because then it feels like okay, we're showing him trying to move forward through this. And even if we only saw one scene, and the rest of it all happened off camera, I feel like I that would be enough for me to buy however you want to spin Drew processing this and coming out the other side. Much like Sasha and all the rehab that she's been doing, which has been happening all off camera. But we're buying it that she seems to have at least, that's helping her get her life together and she's processing stuff. But to have her just talking to Sam or Alexis or Carly, and we're hitting these same beats over and over again, or Anna, it's like I need something different because I can't. I just need to move to the next step for this.
but then the cute scene that wasn't that bad was Drew and Sam. Well, Danny, it was very nice.
Yeah. I mean that's like interesting to see if Jason coming back and Danny gravitates more towards Drew than Jason, because Drew's been, well, more present, at least lately, than Jason has been. So yeah, could be interesting.
I thought it was just a nice. It was a nice scene that
Yeah.
he wasn't crazed or anything. Just like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there for him. I'll talk to him. He's having a hard time. I thought it was right. It was really hugged. I thought it was very cool. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, I mean, and then I can relate to that. I mean, even in my life, I feel like there are times when I like between my mom and my aunt. It's like I feel much closer to my aunt at points than
Yeah,
I do to my mom. And so, to have like Danny feeling that way about Drew as opposed to Jason, like that tracks.
it does. I think that was kind of cool. Um, what else happened at that party? I think Carly was getting stuff together. Carly and Drew were having some issues. Um,
I
I
mean, I mean, Carly and Drew, they make that sweet, sweet love.
yes,
Thank goodness. And so I have no idea what that means now for
not
Carly
either.
in terms of Crimson. She made that
Right.
big declaration that she was done, but they get in the sheets. Does that mean that?
That's
And she also says that she said some things she didn't mean. Still don't know what that means in regards to Crimson.
yeah, I don't know either. But you're right, they did reunite in the bedroom. Um, but I like Carly and Jagger. I saw chemistry. I'm sorry, and I just this is going to lead into the Jagger situation. I know it's a controversy online. I get it. It should have made. I know you Frank's had misgivings and feelings about this too. He's won me over as Jagger. He just had this week was the week he won me over as Jagger. I don't see Antonio Saval Jr. anymore. I don't see him anymore. I see this guy, and I've been liking his acting actually because he moved around. Because that scene with him and Carly was good. The scene with him and Sonny I thought was really good. The scene with him and Anna I thought was really good. So I'm liking this guy. So I'm sorry, folks. I like the new Jagger, John, whatever the fuck his name is. I like him. Frank.
I will say the only thing I don't like is like just if we're gonna make such a point of everybody calling him Jagger, I don't know, just call it let him be Jagger. I don't know why we keep insisting like, nope, John now. It's John. Like, no, who cares? John's a dull name. Soaps are known for great, colorful names. There's no reason not to just keep embracing this. Yes, come on. Let him be Jagger.
Oh, and Jagger and Scotty had a good scene too. And that's right, Johnny and Scotty.
Yeah.
History, folks. But here's the thing, Frank. So there's two histories. It's been kind of dividing people also because poor Charles, they're now saying, I guess it didn't happen, but it did happen. And so she was killed over there. But I guess Karen was killed here too. I guess for this whole debate online, the people are going back in time trying to figure this out, but they're saying that Lucy was crazy or whatever, and that there was no Caleb and Livy and all this stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird. They're trying to reconcile all that too with Karen's past, because I know some folks want Karen to come back. They're saying, well, she's not killed in General Hospital, but I think she was killed off screen in a car accident. So I don't know what's going on, but all I know is folks are saying maybe he wants a mature name now. He's trying to switch to mature, and people are just not. People are fighting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That part doesn't bother me so much. It's just I like him. Actually, I'm liking him.
Yeah, but just let him be Jagger. Just let him be Jagger. It's, would anybody be bugged if everybody was just calling him, Jagger all the time and there was no big like it's John. Like, yeah, let's just be Jagger. It only becomes a point because the show has made it a point.
Yeah,
And
so,
so,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
character I think if he had just been like Jagger this whole time, nobody would have said anything about it.
My thing is, yes, the whole PCJ thing is confusing. And Jason, you do know this is a soap opera. Anybody come back from the dead. Anybody come back from the dead. That's not a problem either. But I think because the whole thing is so confusing, right? Well, see, Conrad, that's what we thought. Same universe, different part of town. That's what I thought it was. But Jason's going. Frank is not his professional name. His professional name is John Cates.
Who knows who's I would have been more interested in him like I legally changed it to Jagger because that meant that much to me. Then John. John is my dead name. I am Jagger.
Um, I don't see how you have. It's a whole Go to Port Charles, see all that stuff. I don't know what's going on.
Because like,
But
oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because
Go
one
ahead.
last thing
Go
is like
ahead.
I feel like to make yes, I understand it's not his professional name, but then I also feel like then that becomes the whole issue about like who is this guy really? He's a recast and certainly of a different a different look and appearance of Antonio Sabato Jr. for sure. But I feel like the show's trying to be clever by having it both ways. Like, oh yeah, this is really Jagger, but you know what? It's a different guy who doesn't look at all like him, and we're calling him John now. That's so it's John. It's not Jagger. It's John. Totally different person. Like, no. It's same person. Don't shy away from it. You made your recasting choice for whatever reasons that happened. It's Jagger. We got to just embrace everything about this guy. It's Jagger. You can't just try to have your cake and eat it too and try to be clever by half. You're like, oh, same guy, but it's a different name.
Well, I mean, so folks are thinking it's because of Antonio Sabato. I don't think it's because of Antonio Sabato Jr. I just think I think it really is a whole thing of just he's now grown up into a real job. So of course you can't ignore that he was Jagger last time he was here. So that's why people are calling him Jagger. You can't ignore it. So that's why the difference is being made so much, I think, because you couldn't just bring him back and say I'm John Case because and it goes you're Jagger because he doesn't look like Antonio Spada Jr. They had to really like let us know who he is. So I think I'm with you, Frank. I think there's some kind of like on some shows you say your name 10 times, so people know who you are. It's just it's just that kind of thing. So that's all. That's all it is. I think it is on purpose, so to speak, to kind of like Jagger. This is Jagger. This is Jagger. This is Jagger. This is Jagger, so to speak. So I think you're partially right, Frank, about that. I think it's more about we getting in our heads. This is Jagger, but now he's called John. So I mean, maybe that's he looks so different than the other guy. Maybe
Yeah, I mean, and when he was on night shift, he was still going by Jagger,
yes, he was.
and he was an FBI guy back then.
Yes, but I like. But anyway, I like the actor. My whole point is I like the actor. So I like the
Yes,
actor and I like the performances. So I'm good. I have no problem with that. I thought it was good. Um,
that fight that he baits Sonny baits him into, just that swing.
yep. I mean, Sonny's a little punk, first of all. So it's like, why is this little punk get at you? It's like he is, and he bursts into Anna's office. You ain't gonna help me take him down. Like, and Anna's like, calm down,
Yeah,
have a seat. Like, just like she's just like, what's going? I loved her reaction to it. She's just like, she didn't even get bothered. She was like, okay, and he had apologized to her because he was just kind of going at her, and he's caught up. He's caught up in this. He has a long history. That's why I'm glad him and Scotty had a talk at the gravesite. We've never seen Karen's grave before. That's fine. I like that they talked. Everybody says they're liking the talk. I like me too. Sonny and Scotty should never like each other. Sorry, folks. There's a long history. If you're a father of a daughter, and what Sonny did back in the day with Karen, I would never forgive him either.
yeah.
That's just to me, that actually is true to life. So I remember Sonny wasn't the mobster with the heart of gold when he first started. That wasn't, he grew into that later. That wasn't his role back then, Frank. So it's like
No.
he did some bad things.
Yeah, no, it's he's definitely and I like that Anna is not excusing that at all either with John in their conversation. Like yes, the Sonny back then isn't, but he's not Sonny back then. Yes, could have been an awful person, but you're missing the stuff that how he's grown and changed as a person now.
Yeah.
So while he's not squeaky clean, he's not uh the total jerk that he was back then either.
Yeah.
But
And that was Anna's talk, right? There Anna's
yeah,
like, he has changed on some level. And she said, if I get an opportunity if there's something comes up, I gotta take him in, I'll take him in. So that's all I mean. So like she's saying, I'll do my job if I have to, but taking consideration, and also she's like, you need to calm down. Because you want to do everything by the book. You want to make sure you're on your, by the book and everything and not mess up something. And she was right about that too.
Yeah, and even that scene with him and Carly at Kelly's, where Carly is just like, oh, you're just another guy that's gonna be another FBI person who's trying to take down Sonny. But he was there for Stone. You cared about him. Sonny cared about him. You have that thing in common. But yeah, I was just waiting for Jagger didn't go into full details, but just enough that it's like, well, yes, that is true, but still, aren't there things that if somebody could do to somebody you care about that are unforgivable? And you just know what's happened with Karen is just hanging right there. Uh, it's like just, and him reading Carly. It was a good scene.
Yeah. And then just evoking Stone and Robin is good also, just to say that there is a connection, underlying connection there with all of them. And that Stone is the connection. But he was right. I mean, Sonny was right. Jagger took off. That's why he took care of Stone, because Stone had nobody to take care of him. His family came back later. It was too late. So it was like it was a whole thing. So it was like, yeah, so he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
He was telling the truth. But again, Jagger has other reasons to not like Sonny, of course, and so it's my thing is Sonny is not the greatest Bob Moss on earth, and he has issues, and he bugs sometimes, and I just want to now switch a little bit to him and Nina because they finally talked, and Sonny is so judgmental and hypocritical in some of these scenes. I'm just like,
It's
Nina, run for the hills. Why do you want him? Like,
yeah.
screw him.
Between that scene and him talking to Carly at the playground,
Oh my God.
I'm just like, what is happening? Sonny, dial it back a
Yes.
lot, please.
Yes. Maybe when Carly rolled her eyes, she was like, and I like that Carly did not back down and she didn't beg for nothing. She was just like, if you want to believe that, she turned to show you want to just believe that. She turned around because she
Yeah.
was tired of him. And she was like, you want to believe that? You believe that. Like, we were trying to help you. There was nothing to do anything else. That was it. And he wasn't hearing it. But I'm glad she was like, next. I don't have time for this. And he would say bye to his daughter when he left. I'm like, hello. She's right there. That's much fun. She's riding a bouncy horse or some shit. Like, just walk over there and say bye to her.
Oh,
Like, like,
I mean, I that he's still calling Michael Judas does make me laugh.
that's him. Like, oh.
Like, oh,
And going off on him and Dante too. That was the other one too. Whose side are you on?
oh, brother.
But Dante rolled his eyes too, kind of like everybody's just like, Sonny, get over yourself. They're all like they're over him. Like, just get over yourself. Get over yourself.
Uh, yeah, it's I did at least currently the show is really trying to just like let everybody know, Sonny is like a man alone, and that's why Ava can be so close to him right now because he feels betrayed by everybody else. Like, oh, yeah, you're not writing this as like you're just forcing him into this situation without like letting him have like any kind of meaningful conversations with people.
And Selena was hilarious. She was like, Ms. Jerome, like, why the F you here?
Yeah.
And you can trust her. And he was like, you could trust her. I don't know if I can. I love that because they're setting it up. They're setting it up. They're setting it up. It's gonna be Ava and Sonny.
I,
They're setting it up to. I mean, I literally am seeing it when they had that little before they left. She goes, "You know, I gotta come with you." And then I'll tell you why. And he chuckles. He goes, "Okay, I heard to hear this." So they're actually making them kind of funny, and I think it's happening.
yeah, all right. I mean, what would you rather take, Nina and Sunny or Nina and Ava?
Thank you, Carolee, for the super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You love to see us every Sunday. Thank you. You said Nina. So wait, what was it again? Nina and Sunny or Ava and Sunny?
Yeah, who would you rather have?
Nina.
Really?
I don't mind. See, I don't mind Nina. Even when they were talking, I don't mind. I like them together. And she was saying stuff that he couldn't deny. Like he still loves her. He still loves her.
Well, of course. I mean, that's why he's
Yeah.
being
So
so.
yeah. So I'm like, And deep down, he knows Carly and Drew did wrong. Yes, she was petty. You're petty too, Sonny. You're petty also. Um, so the chat's all divided. They're like, no, not Nina and Sonny. Some are saying Ava did worse to Sonny than Nina. It's just, the chat is divided. There's Nina and Sonny people, Ava and Sonny saying Ava, Sonny, and Carly are family. Oh, it's very interesting. Very interesting takes.
I mean,
Um,
it's tough to think, like Ava and Sunny now. I mean, one, because they've got Avery, yes, but that
yeah,
she killed Connie to
right,
there and
right.
to go like, all
And
right,
he killed AJ. He killed AJ.
uh, yeah, but I mean, AJ and Ava. I mean,
No,
they
no,
were.
I'm just saying that he can't even be hypocritical about that either
Oh, right, yes,
because he
but
killed AJ.
I mean, it's tough to want to be with a person that killed somebody that you truly loved, and go like, oh, you killed Connie, who I loved at that time, and so yeah, I'll be with you now. Like that's weird to be. I'm going to be
No,
with
it
my
is
family
weird
killer.
because also, um, because he's messed up. It's like Sonny has problems, and his code is a problem. And because Ava has moved into mother of my child group, that's his code. He has a mother issue. So now all of that, he will never hurt Ava because of Avery. That's just his code. That's how they've written him. That's his code.
Yeah, which tracks and explains why Ava would still be around to this point. If that's the show's certainly escape clause to keep Ava around logically. Uh, yeah, I mean, I like that Ava. I don't necessarily see a romantic thing, but I do like Ava being shrewd enough to like, I I got to use this moment to build as much equity with Sonny as possible.
There.
Uh,
I'm
be-
good with
be-
that.
because at some point when he does forgive everybody, I certainly don't want to be left out in the cold like I have been in the past. Uh, so I do like Ava thinking about it from that point of view.
Yes, I'm with you on that. If they stop there, I'll be fine. But somebody in the chat is saying Sonny's complicated, so is Ava.
Well, I mean, all it takes is for one bad thing to go down, and the two of them could easily have sex,
Yeah,
in a crypt, in a warehouse, in the back
right,
of a limo, whatever.
right, right. So they're the right. Chris and Dan were writing it. Now we'll find out the new writers. Will they continue it or not? We have no idea. We have no idea, kids. I'm just saying we're saying all this stuff now because this is the last full week of their stuff. We don't. I don't know what's. We don't know what's going to happen next. We're it's all what we're seeing now, but in the future it may not happen. But as of last week, it seemed like it was leading that direction. That's all I'm saying. We have no idea because literally you saw the preview for Monday. It ends with Dante going, "What the whatever." It's like so. Obviously, that's Jason. He comes back on Monday, so obviously, or it's a face of Jason or whatever. Clearly, so I'm like Dante sees him first. Interesting choice. Okay, so yeah, so something's going on. So I don't know. Moving right along from that whole thing. Do you think this whole trap's going to work? Because now that John and Anna are flying over there to stop them or whatever, I guess they're going to figure out where they are. You think it's going to be a big shouting fest, probably.
I mean, I don't even know exactly what the trap
I don't
is.
even mean either. I don't even know
Um,
what it is either.
I mean, like Spinelli is involved in some way, shape, and form, but I don't know, and it's something to do where it's like, well, don't you think that the bad guys would also be watching you from a distance? That's what I'm counting on. What does that mean? I don't know. So, but usually with Spinelli, there's always some kind of there at least some kind of hiccup along the way, some some technological you know thing that bumps up, like, oh, we couldn't get it because of this. So I don't know. It could go either way with this, but I feel like it has to be. We're gonna get information either way, just because it's a new team. They want to make it this big and splashy, so something's gonna come out of it. How much other characters are aware of that information, and how much viewers are aware, I think that'll be interesting to see.
Another storyline that I could do without because again, it's just so manufactured. You know where I'm going. Spinelli and Maxi and Felicia. Painful scenes. Painful. These are folks who are presumably in their late 30s, possibly even early 40s. I don't know in real life what their ages are, but I'm thinking the characters late 30s. You have children together. You were in financial ruin, and just would not take help. And all this run around about you falling in love with Spinelli again. It was like, again, one of these storylines, you could have trimmed all that fat and went another direction to it. Like with Chase and Brigham, like there was some cute stuff in the storyline, but it was like filled with all this other stuff that was just tired.
It's it's a bummer because I mean the other part too is that Spinelli is just not a he's not as not a more he's not a very present part of the show. So we're not really getting much. I mean, I don't know. Like that this something that was kind of like, oh, we're just gonna run a fast one on it to make just like an interesting kind of premise, then became such a serious like, oh, like you were like Peter and Austin. Oh, it's like discounting all the years that Spinelli's been there for Maxi for thick and thin. Uh, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about her explanation to Felicia, where it's like, but I think maybe what it is, well, is if we try again and it fails, I don't know if I could lose him as a friend. Like, you're not going to lose him as a friend. He's still, Georgie's father. Um,
Grow up.
he's gonna be around. So he's gonna be
That's
around.
the answer. Grow the F up. And Luther just said it to you. Maxi grow. It's yeah, it's all on to me. I really have nothing to say about it. I don't want to. I just it's just like it's dumb. They should be together. They have chemistry. They have history. They should be together. I don't. I'm not liking all this stuff. It's just ridiculous because now she's okay again. So financially, so it's all dumb. So I'm
But
curious.
it
Yeah,
happens. It happens so
I'm so
fast.
fast. She's fine. So now I'm hoping the new writers will do something different. With that. But you said somebody's name was now.
Peter, Austin.
You mentioned it, but you said somebody else's name. You said somebody's name. Shit. Well, it left me. Um, yeah, boring. Um, how does somebody work with Sonny? They had a fun conversation actually about Jason. I actually liked it. It was a nice conversation.
Yeah, and I mean, I was waiting for like Sonny to be like, when he says, "I miss Stone Cold too," to see Sonny go like, Stone,
So yeah, I know, right,
Stone.
right. I like their talk. Their talk was good. It was about him. Um, and I'm missing somebody, and there's something else happened. I'm trying to think what else happened.
Oh, you can't forget the best part of Jocelyn finding Dex, and Dex just creeping around that little corner of the fence. It's like, hello.
So she
Let's
found so homegirl found the most far fetched thing on earth.
It was just like this. It was just like this looking at her.
Right. I was like, this story is so fantastical that I just rolled my eyes the whole time. And they had sex, clearly. And you can't come back. I can't come back with you. Michael calls and says, you gotta bring him back no matter what.
Yeah. Which to that to also when he's saying it to Carly, it's like, oh, I told Jocelyn to bring Dex back to Port Charles. What? Well, he's his own man. He'll make his own decision. Like you say that here, but to Jocelyn, it's like, don't take no for an
My
answer.
answer.
Uh, you know, I don't know. I mean, who knows what's happening now with the whole Dex and Jason of it all? and how that kind of balances out. I didn't say that I'm fine with Dex. I just realistically, I would have loved to have him gone for like 6 months and just let Jocelyn have to just deal with like, yeah,
Yeah,
this was I've and let that those feelings, that resentment towards Sunny, just kind of be there and make her do things because of that could cause Sunny a lot of issues and cause a lot of family drama. I would have had that than her going on this super ridiculous kind of adventure to find Dex so easily.
yep,
Yeah, I mean, it's just I feel like there are times, yeah, which is frustrating because it's the real world where there are contracts and there are guarantees and stuff like that. Yes, but oh, man, it just makes it tough to buy into like better kind of storytelling where it's like let a character rest for several weeks. Like pull a Valentine, pull an Anna, where they're gone for a little bit, and then they come back and they can come in full effect.
agree. I know I agree with that one. It will be interesting to see how Dex fits in all this. Again, tomorrow we have new writers, apparently. So I'm very excited to see how all of this starts to play out and what they have in mind. Because we just don't know. We don't know. We have no idea. We have no idea what they're keeping, not keeping. The Sergey storyline is starting to lean towards, like we said the week before, the baby's mind, so to speak. Maybe they'll go there all the way. I have no idea. Maybe they won't. It just we have all these storylines we're talking about right now. We have no idea which ones are going forward or not. We saw the scenes from Monday, and there are continuations of part of today, of Friday, which makes sense. You have to ease
Mhm.
into it, but we don't know if Tuesday will be totally different or Wednesday. Like we have no idea. We'll only know when they start talking differently and acting differently and that kind of thing. So
What if we come back Tuesday and it says like 1 year later?
well, James Eyes did it.
There you
Did
go,
it. That
and you
time
enjoyed
jump.
it.
They had Jennifer wake up, and he's like, "You've been out for how long? A year." We're like, a year. And it was actually I enjoyed the first 6 months of the story. They had to fill us in on what happened. They showed us where everybody was now, and they kind of filled us in little by little, like what happened. It was like he's in jail and they're together, and it was very cool. Actually, I actually liked it. I think another show went 5 years ahead of time. I think it was Desperate Housewives. So they sort of think they went a few years. I don't mind that. I mean, if they did that, then let's do it. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Let's just
I mean, I can see how that's not something you can pull the trigger on too often. Otherwise, like a soap is 18, 20, 30 years in the future. Because you've had to keep time jumping to get out of stuff so quickly.
or dream
Oh,
or shower. Good morning. Dallas reference, obviously. It's all the whole last 2 years were a dream.
oh,
That would die. I would die with that too. I mean, they haven't done that. So AMC did it with Prospect Park, right? Yeah, they did. They went a couple of years ahead. Like that time jumps. I don't mind time jumps. They're fine if they serve a good purpose. And if it's just to erase a bunch of stuff, I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. There's a lot of things that can erase. Um, yeah, they do a days thing to my head. Yeah, exactly. What's about days? Yeah, exactly. They did it, and actually, some of the storylines actually made sense. You're like, oh, they got it. They got rid of a few things that were they trimmed stuff off, and General Hospital could easily trim some stuff off.
yeah.
They could.
Jump ahead 2 years and play it up, and at the end of the episode, you see Dante, waiting for
Lulu
his
walk
love
in.
to come home, and yeah, and Lulu's there, like boom, Lulu's up.
I would die. No, that would be exciting if they showed Lulu or Lucky or somebody sitting there like, "Where'd you come from?" Whatever. That would be, or certain things that would be crazy. Not even fucking, or even Phyllis. Shit, where's she at? That Charlie's. We imagine obviously he's working at Charlie's like, oh my god, it's Phyllis. I take
I
that. I take that, Frank.
I love that the bar is so low that a 2 year time jump and you just show Phyllis to be enough, like that justified it.
It did. It would. I mean, so Frank, you know it would. It totally would. Tamara Braun back as Carly. I know that would be exciting and amazing if they did something like that. The last 10 years were a dream, last 5 years were a dream. Like that would be actually hilarious. But we know why he did on Dallas. There's a reason why he did on Dallas. It was just one season. And it was ballsy. I think it worked, but it was ballsy. But I don't know about daytime soaps are a little different. So I don't know, but they want Phyllis with Hat Daddy. Exactly. So like there's something they could, there's some things they could do in a dream or whatever. Yes. Yeah.
That's also like right up there, like with 2 year jump, and then the big focus is the sleazy reporter that worked for the Invader for.
Oh my Smoltz. Oh my God. Yes, Smoltz. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, no, it'd just be interesting. I mean, I just think, it's so folks, they got rid of Roger Howarth, possibly to make money for Steve Burton. So remember they have to stay in contract, they have to stay in budget. They have to stay in budget. So yes, so there's all kind of stuff. The new writing we have, again, no idea. I'm actually very excited to see what they do. I really am excited to see what they do. We have no idea what they're going to keep or not keep. And again, Patrick Mulcahy and those courts know how to write soap opera. They know the show. I'm very curious to see what they decide to do.
I mean, it's certainly just from at least the online presence of fans. It seems like people are very, very eager for this new writing team to come in. So
Yes.
I hope for everyone's case that it is as successful as everybody's wanting it to be.
Yes. Well, folks, we're ending the show right now because I have to do something else after this.
He's going to be a star in his own right.
Oh, thank you, Caleb, for the super chat. Thank you. I love that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kayla and Carly, the two of you guys. That's so funny. For the super chats. Thank you so much. So folks, we won't be here next week. It is Oscars on Sunday and time jump for us. It's an hour ahead. So remember, Saturday night, your clocks go an hour ahead. We lose an hour. But we will be back on St. Patrick's Day, Sunday the 17th of St. Patrick's Day. So I will be drinking.
Yes. There might be some smooching of some Blarney Stones.
Some Blarney Stones.
Hello.
I might do some Irish soap and soap myself up with no shirt on. Who knows? But see, because what Frank wants. I know. You have to. Thank you, Jennifer Anderson. I won't say Anderson for the super chat. Thank you so much. I love it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. But yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks for you guys, folks. Talking about, but I'm gonna talk to Frank. We may do maybe a midweek something, Frank, again in the evening. We did that time. We may do a midweek thing. So I will talk to Frank about that right now. And I might also do one. I'll get there in a second, Jennifer. I haven't forgotten. Also, we might do that for Bowl 2 this week. The girls and I were talking about that also. We might do a midweek something in the evening. I'm gonna talk to Frank about that afterwards. And Frank, your emails.
Oh my. Let's see.
Where are we at?
We are at
It's Shamrocks and Shenanigans. That's right. Oh, you're just slowing down. 272-747. 272-747. You're slowing down a bit.
People, are tired of me, and they giving up communicating with me. So, you can't have this big of a number in your email account and still expect people to want to continue to correspond with you if you're not answering any of these things.
I know people, even Flobo was like, what's in those emails? That's what notes in those emails. Like, which ones is he not answering? I said, probably a lot of them are junk. We get a lot of junk emails, I'm sure.
No, these are all, every one of these is vitally important. I am probably missing out on millions.
He's probably rich. You don't even know it.
That's true.
CashAPP Media. You don't even know it. You don't even know. You don't even know what's going on. Dang it. It's crazy. 272-747. They wrote down in the chat. Yes, folks. But we'll let you know for sure. Just follow JLJ Media and also follow Frank. Where can they follow you, Frank?
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie, and X-Men 97 coming out March 20th.
I know, it's coming out. It's so exciting. And you follow me all James Lott Jr. Sold at James Lott Jr. everywhere. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.